Welcome to The Intuitive Therapist with Janis R. Cohen, therapist, clairvoyant, empath, and medium. Listen in as she takes a no-nonsense, deep dive into real human struggles and how to resolve them. Janis will share channeled information from her spirit guide team, as well as angels and archangels, to help you master your emotional, physical, financial, and spiritual destiny. And now, Janis R. Cohen.
Hey y'all, this is Janis Cohen, the Intuitive Therapist here on the Intuitive Therapist podcast. Welcome to another week with me. So happy you're here. I always talk about my clients, and I love to. Of course, I never reveal any information, but I always try to use my life and my clients' lives to help listeners and to help other people, because I truly believe that everything that happens to me in my life, I've got to use to help lift other people up. And I want to talk about the concept of overcoming difficulties, because what the transition that we are all in this year in 2018, energetically, astrologically, planetarily, etc., is all about stepping into our truth and authentic self. And I know that sounds really general and blah, 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 authentic selves. But seriously, y'all, since January 31st, we had this beautiful trifecta of lunar activity. And I know we're getting into April, I'm in the end of March right now. We're in the end of beginning April that you're going to hear this podcast, or mid-April. I want to talk to you about the kind of things that have been going on since the beginning of the year that might help you understand what's been happening in your life, why all the upheaval. Well, on January 31st of this year, we had 3 significant lunar activities happening at the same time. The blood moon, the blue moon, and the eclipse. They all happened at the same time. And when if we were to look at how the moon guides us, when we think about lunar activity, it has to do with lighting things up from the dark. Okay? So when we have a full moon, and I'm not going to go into all the moons because honestly, I am not an expert on the moon stuff, but the moon does rule me very significantly, like a lot of other people. So I've become very aware and very sensitive to it. But when we have a full moon, it literally is the spotlight being shown on the dark parts of ourselves. Okay? So the blue moon, the eclipse, the blood moon, right? The blood moon is when the sun and the moon align, and I can't remember if it's the sun is behind the moon or the moon is behind the sun, but anyway, it looks red. And so we have all these different kinds of lunar activities that happen at the same time to really shine light on the darkness and to let us know that there are dark parts that need to be uncovered. And when this happened on January 31st, it was a signal that the next 3 months were very significant for us. So February, March, April, we're hitting on the 3rd month of all of this lunar activity. And the job of all of this lunar activity was to help us become fundamentally aware of all of our dark parts, the blind spots, and how we can use all of that to really look at the crappy parts of ourselves to make ourselves better. And then what happened in February, and I'm trying to remember when on February, I think it was early February, it may have been around mid-February, we had another full moon. And so here we are again, the dark parts of ourselves being illuminated. And what was interesting about that is that second full moon had a 6-month predictability about what was going to happen in our lives. So again, the light is being shown on the dark parts of ourselves, because you know what? We got to clean our shit up. This is the year to really get clean and clear about the shit that doesn't serve us anymore, the stuff that haunts us that we don't need anymore in our lives, the truths that we have to come to in order to step into our greatness. That is what this year is about. There's a lot of commentary written about all these unique lunar events. It's just widespread on social media and astrological websites. I know I follow people, because I always love to learn, because there are people who know way more than I do about astrology and lunar activity, solar activity, all of that, and it all factors in planetary activity. So basically, we've been warned, so to speak, to use this time to really use it to our advantage as a significant and meaningful portal that's opening up all of us to raise our vibration and live our truth. So in essence, you're going to be going through a lot of shit, a lot of stuff's going to be coming up, and you're going to have to figure out, are you going to weed out the people in your life that don't work for you anymore, that don't fit, that don't benefit your life anymore? Are you willing to change your job, to go back to school, to make different decisions, to lose the weight, to get clean from alcohol, drugs, cigarettes, whatever it is, to quit being codependent, to learn how to be independent, to end relationships or begin new ones, take a chance? Like, that is what this time is all about this year. So our soul is saying, liberate me from my struggles. Get onto a higher vibrational path, a path of your soul's purpose, so that you can lean into and arrive at enlightenment. You might, for example, within the past several months, you might have experienced beginning and endings of relationships. I know I did. I could tell you it is probably within the last month and a half, 2 months, that my life has been, it's like somebody took the snow globe of my life and just shook it the hell up. Ridiculously jarring and difficult and heavy and hard and grief-stricken. Things that I never anticipated would happen in my life happen. So you may have experienced that. You may have been fired from a job. You may have gotten into an accident, God forbid. Hopefully you're okay. Employment change, residence change, new emotions that you didn't expect to surface. And on the flip side of that, really great things where an opportunity that you thought was perfect for you was taken from you, and that something else presented itself. Nonetheless, to say that all of these lunar activities and lunar events were profound and are profound is an understatement. In all honesty, this shift and movement with the planetary activities has been epic. And I, like many of my clients, like I said, I've experienced radical life changes along with the gift to really look directly at my life and choose differently and claim what I truly want. One of those things was a breakup. And then we ended up getting back together, thank goodness. He came to his senses. And the second was the death of my father on February 26th. And that was, and still is, incredibly difficult. And I'll talk to you. I have another podcast, another recording that I'm going to do about the gift of grief. And I would love for you to listen to it because I've learned a lot from my father's death. And I'm going to share that with you. And I'm not going to get into that today, but just look forward for that. So it is incredibly difficult to deal with all of the upheaval that has resulted from all of this lunar and planetary activity. And while some of you have experienced great expansion, like I said, and new and wonderful opportunities that you would never have banked on, that's the beauty of living in this world, is that you can't predict anything. You really can't. And you can't control shit either. What you can do is just be you. You know, most people have been met with a life-altering and abrupt ending that have caused a great deal of emotion or turmoil. Like I said, I certainly have experienced that too. The beauty of this time, of this tumultuous time, is that the universe is giving you a golden ticket to reclaim your life. It is pushing you to restore your faith in a higher power, in yourself, and make the changes you've needed to make but haven't until this pivotal time. There's something really cool about the universe, is that we will ignore and ignore and ignore and ignore the changes that we need to make because we think we want to play it safe. But when it gets to a point where our vibration underneath really wants a change, the universe says, oh, I'm into that, and picks up on that and forces the change to happen. There's a card in the tarot called the Tower. And those of you who work with the Rider-Waite card deck know the Tower, know the card that I'm talking about. It is what's called a major arcana card, one of the most significant parts of the deck, significant events. And the Tower has to do with us being literally, our house is on fire and we have to jump out with the resources we have. We're forced out. We have to figure out a new way. We have to start again. And life has a funky way of doing that. And many of you, I know for me, that's what this period has been. It's been, I've had to come to Jesus. And boy, thank you. Thank you, universe, because my life has changed beautifully. You have the opportunity to put the worst behind you now and surmount any previous challenges. If you could see the challenges in your life as experiences that have made you stronger and have taught you lessons, rather than becoming bitter because you think life owes you something, you're going to open your heart with compassion towards people and situations in your life that need it. And simply by doing that, you'll draw in more goodness to you. You have the opportunity to let go of blame or feelings of victimhood and choose differently. This one shift in perspective from a negative to positive outlook, using your past and present experiences to build you up rather than take you down, will afford you the space in your life to attract beautiful people, phenomenal opportunities, and loving solutions at a higher level of spiritual understanding. Your goal, actually there's several, your goals are to remain positive and focused on only what you want to manifest. So many times, I'll tell you this, so many times you think you are really focused, mind, body, and soul on only what you want, but really it's just your head saying, yeah, I want a better life, I want more money, I want more clients, but your vibration is resonating with lack and poverty. And so it doesn't matter the words you say. You could say shit all day long about my life is wonderful, money comes easily and effortlessly to me, blah, blah, blah. But if you don't believe it, if you don't feel it, if you're not in that space, your life will not change. So don't believe anybody who tells you just say these things and it'll work, because that's a crock of shit. You have to feel it and believe it. That has to be your sole focus, which is to truly focus on only the things that you want to manifest in your life. The time has come for you to end the habit of crying over spilled milk and lamenting about what you wish had happened, or wishing for a better past, wishing for better parents, blaming everybody else for the place you are in your life. Yes, there are things that have happened in your life that have contributed to you and the choices you've made, but you can always make different choices. I see people all the time who come from shitty life circumstances. And you know what? They choose differently. They realize that their parent should have been a better parent, or their husband or wife should have been a better husband or wife, or their kids could have been different. And they get to a point, they're like, you know what? It just comes down to me. It's my choice now, and I've got to be the best version of myself. So it's time for you to end the habit of woe is me, because woe is me and wishing things were different gets you nowhere. It doesn't bring you the peace in your heart and mind that you're searching for. I will promise you that. Been there, done that. But how do you make such a radical shift in your thinking, feeling, and believing and doing? How do you actually make that happen? And so many people say, well, Janice, it's so easy for you because blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, no, it is not. It's not been easy for me. I've had to fight to get to where I am. And I've had to be in flow at the same time. And it's kind of weird. It's, it's one of those things that you can surrender and be in flow and just let things happen and be prepared that when certain things happen, you can handle it. And you move with what happens. You use it for your benefit. So I want to talk to you about 5 suggestions that I have to start shifting into a different way of thinking, different way of feeling, a different vibration, a different focus and belief, and a different way of taking action. And when I talk to you about these 5 things, they're going to sound hokey. They're going to sound general. And some of you may go, oh, well, that, of course, that makes sense. And she's saying whatever she's talking about because it sounds nice. No, I'm not. I'm telling you what I teach my clients. I'm telling you what I have done in my life to reclaim my life, especially during this year with some of the shitty things that have happened. I hope you'll hear me. I hope you'll take these suggestions, and I hope you use them to shift your life. So the first one is to take your power back. One of the things that I know that happens when bad things happen to us is we find it so easy to give our power away to grief, to anger, to pain, to sadness. That's giving power away. If we've been in a shitty relationship, or somebody's fired us, or we lost a lot of money, very easy to give our power away to blaming other people. But I'm asking you to do something different. I'm asking you to use your God-given power and intention to manifest the blessings in your life. People do this all the time. You have to shift your focus because whatever happens in your life is a result of what you do. Your choices, nobody else. Doesn't matter where you come from. Doesn't matter your background. People who've come from all sorts of backgrounds have made different choices and improved their life and created a different legacy. Now is the time to summon up your spiritual strength and power and put your authority into action. You have authority in your life. Again, if you're somebody who blames somebody, says, I can't figure out what's wrong, why do I keep stepping from one pile of shit to the other? I'm not lucky, everybody else is lucky. Not true. Not true. The minute you start changing the perception of who you believe you are, the minute your life changes, because you start making different decisions. So lovingly and firmly transform your intentions into reality. Pray about your intentions. I don't care who you pray to. Jesus, Buddha, Spirit, a stone. I don't care. Whatever brings you peace and faith. Pray about your intentions. Ask for guidance and signs to shape your manifestations to the highest level possible. Listen to those signs, follow those signs, and live in flow. The second is to appreciate yourself. Again, these sound kind of hokey in general. Just listen to what I'm about to say. I want you to return to yourself and begin to focus on you at this time, and only you. I'm not talking about neglecting your responsibilities as a parent or a mate or an employee. I'm talking about being selfish in a good way. In fact, we all have to be selfish in order to be the best versions of ourselves. And that means taking care of yourself, body, mind, and soul. You got to get rest. You've got to eat well. You've got to have downtime. You've got to be able to do things that enrich your life. You've got to be able to give yourself the permission to think differently. Nurture your mind, body, and spirit, as I mentioned. Praise yourself and reward yourself. This is one thing most people do not do. It has taken me a very, very long time to accept, compliments from people. But as a woman, it's so important. And a number of years ago, you know what? I just started to say thank you when somebody says, oh, you love your hair, you look great, or great job. And I would say, thank you. And I would take it in because I deserve that. You deserve that. So often we dismiss people's compliments. Oh, well, gosh, always had bad hair days, don't know why it worked out today. Or, yeah, well, it was just a fluke, or lucky day. No, take it, take the love. But even more so, give yourself kudos. There's so many things that you do on a daily basis that are good. Honor that. Praise yourself. When you talk with people, share with them what you've done. I'm so proud, to be honest, of the book I wrote. It took me a freaking long time to do it. I'm so proud I did it all on my own. I'm proud of this podcast. I'm proud of my practice. I'm proud of the work I do with people. I'm proud of my own growth. I'm proud of my ability to look at the shit in my life, and maybe sometimes I do stuff about it, maybe I don't, but I'm proud of at least I can be honest with myself. And I could tell anybody any of those things. And guess what? I don't care what they think. I really don't. I know I feel good about it, and I know it comes from a humble place. So praise yourself often. Love yourself often. Practice compassion with yourself first. Because you can't give love and compassion honestly without giving it to yourself first. The third is recognize divine order. When life becomes challenging and you don't understand why bad things happen, you have to lean back into the understanding and knowing that everything is how it should be right now. Sometimes it is so hard to understand. It's like, shit, I don't want things to be this way. Why? And you end up asking these questions that lead you nowhere. They don't help you. It's the suffering part of you that asks the question, why? And I'm asking you to lean into that resource part of you that says, well, why not? Why shouldn't it happen? And now that it has, what do I do? So you have to know that everything is how it should be right now, even if you're in the shittiest place of your life. You have to look past the illusion and see the underlying order. You have to have blind faith that a win-win situation is brewing for all involved, because if you look back at your life, all the shit that didn't work out has led you to this moment. There's a country song called God Bless the Broken Road, right? It's called Broken Road. Some of you who are country music fans know who the artists are. But it's God Bless the Broken Road that led me to you. That's what life is about. Broken roads, paths that end, relationships that end, jobs that end, so that you can zigzag yourself into the place you are right now. So speak positively about your life and your situation and connect with the feelings that are associated with what you would feel if you were actually living the life you want. 4, open up to divine support, okay? Expect to receive divine guidance about your situation. The nudges, the hunches, the ideas that come to you, that may seem unrelated to the challenge. Just know that every little piece is a contribution. Fear not. All of your prayers are heard, and the angels and spirits are working behind the scenes to bring all of your dreams and ideas to fruition. It just may mean that they have to shift you on a different track because the dream that you have could be too small for you. The dream that you think you should go for might not be the right one. So you have to trust. And you have to know that no matter what happens, you can handle it. Even the worst circumstances, even when one thing after the other happens, and you're like, my God, life cannot get any worse. You're not given more than you can handle. Know that you're supported fully by the divine, and know that you are never alone. Again, I am here to support you. If you feel like you've got nobody else, just open up, receive guidance, and act upon it. The subtle hunches and nudges. 5, ask your angels. It doesn't matter how you ask. You don't have to know the names. All you have to do is say, y'all help me. I don't know who you are, but y'all help me. I need you to help me make this decision. And the thing is, when you ask the angels and archangels, they truly cannot intervene unless and until you ask them. Again, you don't have to know their names. You just have to say, okay, y'all help me with this idea for this paper or this podcast, or help me figure out where to go for dinner, or help me figure out what to do with my life. And you will get nudges and hunches and all of it. And sometimes you'll get really straight up feedback. Somebody will come into your life, or you'll see something on TV, or you hear something, a song, you're like, holy shit, wow, no coincidence there. I was heard. Here's the other thing. When it comes to angelic assistance, if you're in danger, the angels will assist you. They don't need your permission because you're not of the bright mind to say, help me. They will intervene. But you have to ask with everything else. Okay? So now is the time for you to truly use everything in your life to your advantage. Life is filled with crappy and painful experiences, y'all. and purposely so. It is your soul that is summoning you to step up to live your life in an amazing and unique way once and for all. And that is what this year is about. Please hear me. Do something different. Heed the call to let go of what doesn't serve you anymore, the habits, the beliefs, the feelings, the people, the places, whatever it is, clear it. Seek new and exciting things. Do differently. Let go of what doesn't work. If you've benefited from this podcast and other ones, please visit iTunes and rate, and please write a brief review about your experience and your sense of this podcast. The more ratings and reviews I get, the more I can serve people. And if you need some help with a reading or you'd like some support therapeutically, it'd be my honor. Reach out to me at my office, 404-558-3971. Email me, Janis@janisrcohen.com. I wish you a wonderful day, a blessed week, and as always, live intuitively.
Thanks for listening to The Intuitive Therapist with Janis R. Cohen. If you like what you heard, the best compliment you can give us is to share this podcast with a friend and subscribe, rate, and review at iTunes.